What if the Beatles Let It Be sounded different? Well, it did. This is the Glyn Johns mix, the Get Back album that never was, finally released as part of the Let It Be special edition box set. It's raw, loose, and totally unlike the version most of us grew up with. Let's crack open the vinyl and dive into why this one's so fascinating and a bit divisive. What I'm showing today is the Get Back LP from the Let It Be special edition box set. It's a faithful recreation of Glyn Johns' 1969 mix, the version originally scrapped in favor of Phil Spector's production. The packaging is beautifully done. The cover mimics the early bootlegs and concept art. Inside, you get that nostalgic Apple label and a clean pressing that sounds surprisingly crisp, despite the looseness of the recordings. This version wasn't meant to be polished. It's meant to feel like the Beatles in rehearsal, warts and all. For those who don't know, Glyn Johns was brought in to mix the original Get Back sessions before the album became Let It Be. His idea was to present the band as they were. No studio tricks, no overdubs, just four guys playing live. But the Beatles weren't happy with the results. The project was shelved, and eventually Phil Spector was brought in to rework it into the version we all know. Now, decades later, we finally get to hear Glyn Johns' original vision. This is the first time this specific mix has ever been officially released. Before this box set, it existed only on bootlegs and collector copies. The track order is completely different from the release Let It Be. That alone makes it a little disorienting for longtime fans. You don't get the familiar flow, but you do get something arguably more honest. The recordings include studio chatter, early takes, and even some flubs. But that's the charm. It's like being dropped into the room with them. There's no filter, just the Beatles working things out. If you're enjoying this so far, do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe. Seriously, it costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference. Helps me keep bringing you deep dives into rare and iconic vinyl. Thanks. For me, listening to this version of Get Back felt a bit like time travel. It's not the most polished Beatles experience, far from it, but it's revealing. You hear the friction, the spontaneity, and the sheer talent holding it all together. It's a difficult listen for some fans, especially if you're used to the final track list. But that's kind of what makes it essential. This isn't the Beatles wrapped in mythology. This is the Beatles tired, brilliant, messy, and still making magic. So that's the Get Back LP, part one of my three-part look at the Let It Be box set. We've got two more pieces of this set to go, so hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next installments. And tell me in the comments, have you heard this mix? Did you love it? Hate it? Let's talk about it. Thanks.